From beginning, middle to end, Dolph, I'll give you the floor. You can break it down. Did this live up to the hype? Did you think Randy had a chance of winning? Did you like the finish? Give it to me.
First things first, if you did watch all the RKOs, Jamie Noble goes last. And did anyone kind of think that he was gonna like push him off and kind of maybe go for an ankle or something? Like I really like it's like kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. And they get down to the second last. I go, the last one's Jamie. I go, is he gonna try and choke him for a second? Like I thought just for a second, you get crazy Noble, forgets for a second, he just goes back to like Ring of Honor Noble mode, goes zip, zip, tries to tie him up and then takes it. But it was something funny to watch Jamie, who by the way, beloved by the locker room. He's a producer behind the scenes and one of my favorite guys at work. He's just good for morale.
I think you're the only one who saw that because you know Crazy Jamie better than I know Crazy Jamie. So we're about to get into Backlash. Mark, you joined us at the perfect time. Nick was about to get into the match. How do you think the 4 moves worked for John against Randy Orton?
You know what, man? The 4 moves work because they're tried and true. But the thing about John and the thing about like trying to have a successful on taking is it's not about you all the time. And I thought that John made it too much about him. Like, you know, you gotta I don't want to see nobody trying to show everybody I'm being led. Like, you know, if you telling me what to do, saying, oh, we're gonna do this next. Like, don't be visibly or audibly loud enough to where it's gonna get picked up. Like, man, work on that shit. Like, you've been in the game for 25 years.
Mark, right before you came on, Dolph was talking about working with John and how he would just shout out spots.
What the fuck? Oh, nobody. Hey, it's very few people love him more than me. I respect the gangster. His first day in Louisville as prototype, he rode in the car with me because of his greatness. Like he wants people to see his greatness, and I understand it. I'm there. You don't think I love it when somebody pat me on the back and say, "Hey, man, you found Jade Cargill? You found this guy, you found that girl." Like, I love it. It feels good. It's like, wow, acknowledging one of my children. But I'm not going to put that above the guy that I'm in the ring with.
So you think Cena was putting himself before Randy in that match?
It looked like it. It looked like, hey, I'm the principal. I'm the boss. I'll tell you, look at me. Like sometimes you got to dummy down. And even if you're not dummying down and you're just saying, you know what? I don't want this to come across as I'm taking all the air out the room. I want this to come across like this is 2 equals going at each other and one just barely got by the skin of his teeth. And I don't want it to look like, and listen, I've never confused John with being the most athletic guy in the world. But you got to make an effort to not look like, oh, a Hokey Memphis headlock. Like, don't do it. It's not funny. It might be funny to you and him at a house show, but in that moment, it's about making everybody go, holy shit, like Randy's finna fucking win the title. He's finna beat him. And you have to go, if I'm the agent, they come through the curtain and I'm like, God, this ain't funny. Like fucking do it on the house shows when you want to bullshit. But goddamn, like they on my ass right now because I didn't get y'all prepared to have the match that I needed to see y'all have. And I didn't see what I wanted to see.
So, Nick, I want you to, before Mark came on, you were starting to get into what you thought about the match. After we do that, I'd like to hear what you thought about. Do you feel Cena put himself in a position to shine more than Randy? But get into your analyzation of the match, please.
Well, yeah, that's fair. I didn't have it as much as Mark did, but yeah, of course. I know the deal, so I've been out there before. It's like I wrote down the greatest technician of my generation and the absolute not greatest technician of my generation. And
wow, there you go.
Yeah, and it's like, but it's in a positive way. John, we know the deal. We know what he does. We know his 4 moves. Everything, the nostalgia, the moment, the years, it's all in there. And it can be Hogan versus Warrior. And you can watch it as an analyst and be like, man, this is not great technical wrestling. But if you listen to the crowd and you feel them and you get lost in the moment, you'll listen to that crowd that they lost their shit. They were going, this is awesome. And you hadn't seen anything other than one of Cena's 4 moves and one of Randy's. And it had been 20 minutes in and it had been great. I loved it every step of the way. I knew it was going to start very basic OVW spots. But when you have that emotion and you already have that built-in feud, it reminds me, it's not the same, everybody. It reminds me of like when Shawn and Taker were going to their first match together. And I go, but this is a situation where it's 2 legends, but I've actually grew up watching and was in the ring at this point, instead of just watching as a fan with Taker Shawn. These are 2 guys that I was in the ring with for 19 of my 20 years. And now they're coming to a head here and you're watching that emotion. You know, John's not a technician. You know, Randy's one of the greatest ones there is. And I could see that disconnect a little bit because you know John's calling a lot of this. So instead of having the smoothest wrestler of our generation, which I hate that I keep saying because it makes me so mad, but like you have him, maybe Mark saw him like listening and waiting for John to do his thing and then grabbing a headlock or something to where it's like when Randy grabs a headlock, we were taught classes for it when I was in OVW because he took it and made it real and made it different and stood out because he does that with everything. Damn it, I'm done putting his ass over. I hate this. But John is the opposite to where he wrestles not very technically. It's Hogan and Warrior. But if you get lost in that moment and you hear that crowd, that's what matters.
It almost felt like, and I just wrote this down, Cena was playing too much of the hits and doing Cena 101 to make it a credible main event pay-per-view match against Randy Orton?
It was too house show. They did too much stuff that we do walk and talk. On TV, you can't just do walk and talk.
But Mark, let me ask you this. Your opinion, too much house show. But if the people are reacting the way they are reacting, is it still too much house show?
Yes, because when you're on television, you're not there to entertain the people in the audience, just the people in that crowd. You're entertaining the people that's behind the camera. They can't see the energy. They can't feel the energy of the room. They can't see the nuances of you and Randy at the same time, because a lot of times the camera is isolated 10 and 2 on one or the other. I know that John Cena had more than 4 spots. He had 5 spots with me because I wanted to figure out how to make him look strong, because John was, outside of me and him, there ain't many people heavier in the gym. So I would always throw John in a corner and go to and I would hit the turnbuckle. Ah, shit, I'm selling my hand. I would throw a punch at him and John could catch it or he would block it. Otherwise, you would never have a guy smaller than the big guy do that. Like, I would have wanted to see him and Randy do that. Randy's so fast and so athletic. Why wouldn't John let Randy be faster than him, more athletic than him, and him have to stomp his damn foot or kick him in the hamstring or shoulder block him or something to slow him down? That's TV wrestling. Tell the story of how you had to slow this dude down so you can take advantage of him, especially if you're the heel.
Nick, too much of a house show match for you, or did it live up to a pay-per-view main event for you?
Well, since I know, for the last 15 years, a lot of John's stuff is similar except for when it comes to the story stuff. And the thing is, like I said before, with Warrior Hogan, it's the emotion, it's the nostalgia, it's everything. And when you see Shawn and Undertaker go, you're not going to see that house show type match. But if you see John Cena on a live event versus a broom, or in the main event of WrestleMania, 2/3 of that match is going to be the same. It's going to be called on the fly. It's going to be based on what he knows you can do or what he's going to do. And my difference, Mark, the only difference to me is when it comes down to listening to the crowd. If the crowd is like, dude, he's doing the same match that we always see him do, I would be like, man, they're sitting on their hands. They can't have it. But if you listen, they were there for it. And again, they got to they each hit a finish, or they each hit a basic move after 15 minutes, and the crowd was going, this is awesome. And they were waiting on every step, and they were with bated breath for every step of the way. So I've learned a long time ago, like, John's not going to be a technician. He's going to have that emotion, and you're going to have to get behind him for him selling, whether this is the first time watching him as heel, but
Bully, I'm not criticizing John. I'm disagreeing with where you do what you do.
Oh, that's fine.
There's different things for different places. The place that they were on that spot was a pay-per-view element spot. You got to act like you at that pay-per-view element spot. I used to get nervous. My stomach used to be upset when I had a match like that on TV, when the pressure was on. I go to the house show, man, I ain't think about that shit. Call it in the ring, brother.
So Nick, when it came to the finish, the layering up, the producers, Truth, the kicking the balls, all the RKOs, the FU at the end, the AA at the end, how did it all come? I know what the crowd told us.
Yeah.
You watching it, one eye is a fan, the other eye is a professional. Your thoughts on the go home, the finish of that match?
Watching it as someone who, behind the scenes and knows the deal, is waiting for the finish, goes, oh, here comes all the RKOs. Like, okay, here comes either the ball shot or the belt shot. They got him as high as possible. And then there was another layer to it where an almost punt from Cena, and then Ronnie comes in. So even just taking the crowd out of it, and me knowing that 2/3 of that match is going to be Ohio Valley Wrestling at Elizabethtown opener, you just know the deal, and you hope that the emotion is there, and the fans had the emotion there, and that was all there. I get that there's a layer to Cena saying he's ruined wrestling, and he's not gonna, like, I don't know if you're so meta that, like, it's not gonna be super exciting at the end, but they got all the RKOs, they got everybody, both of them kicking out of finishes 2 different times. You thought Randy was done or John was, and I liked it enough to where I would leave it up to the fans there. I said, it was pretty good. It was pretty good, and the emotion was there. But I know that Randy and me would have done it way differently, obviously. But in this situation with those two, I think it was more the nostalgia of everyone going, this is the last time we're going to see these two guys together. They are going to pull out all the stops, I hope. And if they don't, let's see. And I went, okay, here come the ball shots. I've worked Cardona on the live events around the independents. I know there's going to be a ball shot. I know there's going to be some powder. I know there's going to be a belt shot. I know all the different things they're going to have. There's going to be a ref down. And they gave all the possible things that Matt Cardona does on the weekends. But I was really hoping for one step more special. Not a title change. I never thought for a second Randy was winning this. And then even when we got to points with, like, the big RKOs, I went, I don't feel that he's winning this. And that's fine, because this is John's last run, and maybe the plan is to retire with the belt.
So you just said you were looking for that one big thing, and you also said Randy and me would have done it a little different. Just give me a quick glimpse into what Randy and you would have done different. Tell me what you would have suggested different that Randy would have said yes.
Well, there's 2 different lists there. What I would have suggested that I thought would be fantastic, and what Randy would agree to, no, 2025, he's easy to work with now. He's cool. He gets it. Without all the RKOs and without the belt shot and the ref down, all those things, I feel like I would have left half of those for some other matches, and we have one big one where one of my favorite things is you get that finish and the ref down and someone runs down fast. and then you get the big kick out there. But also, I would have had it just a little bit differently to where you get it with the ref already down there. I get a false finish somewhere, but I don't have that like locked in. It's understood that like John could win this or Randy. If it's Randy and me, and I've been champ for a while, I can actually suspend that belief and say, I don't mind putting my finish out here because we know the ref's going to time it out. That's fine. So if you have me in there, I take an RKO. Oh my God. 1, 2, I get a foot on the rope because I'm a smaller guy. That's crazy. Next time we get down to it, I hit him with a belt shot and a ball shot, and the referee runs down with me hooked to his legs in the air for 10 seconds. 1, 2, he barely kicks out. Very similar to those two. And then you get down to, can I put a sleeper on and have him fall asleep? And we do the test, and he does it, and he makes it out, and we could get into more the wrestling aspect of it instead of the production aspect of it. I think that's the difference.
I'm going to want a surprise accident almost finish. I want to see him give his finish. Randy pops right up, RKO, bang, they both down. And that way you get to reset before you go into the false finish spot that Dolph does. You want something exciting that will lead to boom, 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 the rumbling. And they're both pulling themselves up. And then maybe there's a 1, then a 1, a 2, a 1, ring, bing. Now he goes, dips, he fizzles down, power bomb, bang. He covers it 1, 2, oh. But that's the I look at the style of the guy and the talent of the guy. Randy and Nick both have that talent to do that. John is not athletic like them, is not going to be able to get into those transitions as fluid and as quick or smooth, if you will. But Randy and Nick, the reason that they are who they are is they were smooth wrestlers that could actually entertain.
All right. All right.
I'll take a giant compliment for you. I'll take that. That's great. Any day.
I love Lance Storm. But if Lance Storm could have entertained like Dolph and Randy, he would have been them. Because he wrestled just as smooth, easy, and as exciting as they did.